Hi, I'm Diane Marie Collins, and you have entered the DM Zone. I am here with Roger Seiler, author of Master of Alaska. Welcome, Roger.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit. We're here in front of the Russian Orthodox Church, and the reason for that is that Master of Alaska is about
A Russian, the first Russian governor of Alaska, Alexander Baranov. And he was sent to Alaska in 1790 by Tsarina Catherine the Great. His term of office in Alaska was supposed to be for just 5 years.
And it lasted?
Well, what happened was that everyone they sent to replace him died on the way, so he was stuck there for 28 years.
I love that. The part that I read in the book was that they said, don't get assigned as the governor of Alaska. It's a death sentence.
That's right, yeah. He was stuck with it for a long, long time, and he had enormous challenges to deal with, and one of them was the church. The priests that were sent over there had their heads in the clouds. They had no appreciation at all for the kind of challenges that Baranov had to deal with in running Alaska. And except there was one priest that he got along with very well and who was kind of a spiritual mentor for him. And that was Father Herman, who later was canonized by the Russian Orthodox Church because of what he did for the natives.
I was going to say the whole thing about the other leaders of the church was that they really weren't interested in learning the native language. So how are you supposed to make converts? And they weren't interested in the native practices of anything. But yet this priest did.
This priest did, and he was very devoted, especially to the Aleut children, and he built a school for them, and Baranov financed it. And he also financed the building of the first church the first Russian Orthodox church in Kodiak. And so he had this kind of a plus-minus relationship with the church. You know, some of the priests gave him a real hard time and were trying to actually turn the natives against him. But when he had really tough problems, he would confide in Father Herman, and who gave him a lot of really good advice.
We are here today with Father Ignatius and, of course, author Roger Seiler. I am so excited because we were talking earlier about Pastor Herman, and the father here went, Saint Herman?
Indeed. So he is, for us, a saint. And he was known even in his lifetime as a starets, which is the Russian word for elder. He was someone who was known to be close to God, who knew God's will and could help others, sometimes miraculously. And he was really a father to the natives in Alaska in a hard time. It was a meeting of two very different cultures, and he was a man of immense understanding, someone who pled on behalf of the natives and who lived among them. And he's still remembered as such. And the natives there love St. Herman, and they've taken the Orthodox faith as their own in a way that hasn't happened elsewhere in America. They incorporated it with their own traditions, and now it's simply their ancestral faith. And that's the way they look at it. And St. Herman is their saint. He's the one who came, and he's called an enlightener of North America, that he came and brought the faith to them.
I was going to say, when we talked about him as Pastor Herman helping Baranov, it was he was willing to learn the language of the natives, and he was willing to learn their customs, right, so that then he could introduce them to God from the Russian Orthodox Church.
Absolutely. And there are even stories. There was a shaman who lived there who had been sort of sent an advance embassy. Someone came to him, a spirit, and said, someday men will come to you from across the sea, and they will tell you about God. Listen to them. And so when these Russian monks came, he said, oh, these are the ones that the angel, now I realize, told me about. And these men were catechized, first by St. Herman, then by later saints as well. Especially St. Innocent of Alaska came from Russia. And he learned the language. He was a married priest initially. He would travel by kayak hundreds and thousands of miles, baptize whole villages, learned the language, translated the gospel into multiple different local languages, and then eventually became the first bishop of Alaska. And so for us, these are our fathers in the faith: St. Herman, St. Innocent, St. Juvenali, St. Peter, the Aleut. These are part of our tradition.
And it's wonderful, this connection with Russia, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. And you have been in the DM Zone. Come back soon.
Hi there, I'm Roger Seiler, the author of this historical novel, Master of Alaska. And you can go on to Amazon.com and order it in either the paper or their ebook format. And after you've read it, we'd love to hear from you. So please enter your comments on Amazon, and we'll be looking forward to seeing what you have to say. Thank you.